This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
Russian oil pipeline monopoly Transneft said on Monday that it had started pumping oil from Kazakhstan to Germany via Poland through the Druzhba pipeline, while halting deliveries to Poland, Russian news agencies reported. Although the European Union imposed a ban on seaborne oil imports from Russia on December 5, it is still receiving piped volumes, partly to ensure supply to the bloc's landlocked countries. Kazakh oil pipeline operator Kaztrans said earlier on Monday it had shipped 20,000 tons of crude to Germany via Russia's Druzhba pipeline.
Oil prices slid about 1% on Monday as strong U.S. economic data had investors bracing for more interest rate hikes from the U.S. Federal Reserve to fight inflation, which could also cut oil demand. Losses were limited by oil supply concerns after Russia halted exports to Poland via a key pipeline. Brent futures fell 56 cents, or 0.7%, to $82.60 a barrel by 11:18 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 16:18 GMT. U.S. West Texas Intermediate, WTI, crude fell 44 cents, or 0.6%, to $75.88. New orders for key U.S. manufactured capital goods increased more than expected in January while shipments rebounded, suggesting that business spending on equipment picked up at the start of the first quarter.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Signs of stronger import demand from India have arrested the decline in price of the thermal coal grades most commonly sought by the world's second biggest importer of the fuel used to generate electricity. The price of low-grade Indonesian coal with an energy content of 4,200 kilocalories per kilogram, kilocalorie per kilogram, as assessed by commodity price reporting agency Argus, increased to $73.42 a ton in the week to February 24. This was up 7.7% from the 13-month low of $68.18 a ton hit the prior week and was the first weekly gain since the 7 days that ended on December 23.
Strong pickup in fuel demand in China and flattish supply from other producers will push the oil market into deficit in the second half of this year, leading OPEC to reverse its production cut at the June meeting, analysts at Goldman Sachs said. OPEC+, comprising the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, and allies such as Russia, agreed in October to cut oil production targets by 2 million barrels per day, BPD, until the end of 2023. The bank said in a note dated Sunday that it expects oil prices to rise gradually to $100 per barrel by December, assuming OPEC increases output by 1 million barrel per day in the second half. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. An investigation into illegal mining in China's lithium hub could cut global supply of the battery raw material by 13% this month, analysts said on Monday, potentially supporting prices that have plunged from record highs. The city of Yichun in southern China, which produces about 29% of the country's lithium salt and is known as Asia's lithium capital, said late on Friday it was cracking down on criminal activity, such as unlicensed and environmentally damaging mining. Financial news outlet Yikai reported on Sunday that the central government had also sent a working group to investigate the sector.
Germany last year imported 44.4 million tons of hard coal, 8% more than a year earlier, as it burned more coal after Russia turned off the gas taps, industry figures showed on Monday. Russia's coal shipments to the country dropped by 37% in the year in reflection of a European Union ban on Russia receipts after August 11. The data, made available by coal importers group VDKI on request, also showed. VDKI said that Russia delivered 13 million tons to Germany in the calendar year but, despite the sharp decline in the volume, remained the number one supplier. Russia accounted for a 13 million ton share, 29.3% of the total.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural.
Russian wheat prices fell last week amid a downward trend on global markets, low demand from exporters and growing domestic supply, analysts said on Monday. The market is still waiting for clarity on whether an accord to allow safe passage for Black Sea grain exports will be extended next month. Russian President Vladimir Putin discussed the Black Sea grain initiative, which allows grain to be exported from 3 Ukrainian ports despite a Russian blockade, with his Turkish counterpart Tayyip Erdogan last week. That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.